Hello everyone, this video is about our CAT 2026 batch that we are starting from 7th of April. This is basically for repeaters and working professionals. First, I'll clear out the class timings and what all are included in this batch. Then we'll talk about individual section, how we're gonna deal with cons, DLR and VRC, right? Fine. So classes would be from 10 p.m. daily. Right. Duration will be, if it's a concept class, then it will be 40 minutes. If it's a discussion class, when I say discussion means, the sheet what we are discussing, the questions what we are discussing, right? So that duration will depend the questions what we are discussing, like the amount of time it's gonna take to solve that particular things what we are discussing. It might be 40 minutes, it might be 50 minutes, right? So that will depend on that. We'll be having daily two classes. One will be from 10 p.m., the other one will be from 11 p.m., right? Now talking about the frequency of the what we said section. So cons would be daily. DLR and VRC would be alternative day. Like one day it will be DLR, the other day it would be VRC part, right? Fine. The total fees would be 15,000 for full course. What it will include it will include live classes, recording. You'll be having mocks as well, sectional as well. Like then one-to-one mentorship as well. That means mock discussion, individual strategy discussion, right? Your doubts and all, right? Total, we're gonna only enroll 30 students in this batch because one-to-one mentorship would not be possible in more than that, right? So it will include live classes plus what we say recording as well. In live classes, live will be interactive. When I say interactive, means you'll be allowed to ask your doubt in the class itself. Fine, this all will be there, sectionals, mocks, everything, right? Now, like, what will be our pattern? What I mean by saying that, like, in 2 months we'll be doing practice plus concepts. After 2 months, we're gonna start with sectional plus mocks and revision. Right, fine. Now, let me talk about first cons, then I'll come to the DLR, then I'll come to the VRC part, right? Before that, I just wanted to show you something. Like this year, we have removed all our PDF and we have moved to, just a second now. We have moved to timer test. Just a second, yes. What I mean by saying that, like, let me explain first for the cons, then I'll come to the DLR part, right? So cons, what is our planning? As arithmetic and algebra have, more weightage, right? So what we'll be doing in first 2 months, we'll try to cover these two topics, arithmetic and algebra. We're gonna start like this. The first, we're gonna do profit loss or percentage, right? Second would be from algebra. Like it might be quadratic, it might be anything, right? Fine. So how are we gonna do this particular topic, right? Let us pick up profit and loss, right? So first we're gonna cover all the concepts in profit and loss. That will take around 2 to 3 classes, right? After that, we're gonna start question solving, right? Now in question solving, what we're gonna do, we're gonna provide you, like, you'll be seeing this particular paper, right? It is having 10 questions and we have make sure ki, like there's a timer that is attached to it that will be of 30 minutes, right? Fine. And all the 10 questions will be of tough level, right? Fine. So when we're doing individual chapter, we'll make sure ki from one topic, we're gonna make you solve around 70 to 80 questions. That means 7 to 8 HTML, right? Now, what I mean by solving, it means that first you need to try the particular paper. Like let's suppose tomorrow we are discussing HTML1, right? So what you need to do, you need to first attempt all the 10 questions, whatever is there, and then come to the class. In class, obviously, we'll be discussing all the 10 questions, we'll be solving it out, right? But what my point is, ki first you need to attempt, right? Now, why timer I have introduced? Because at the end it matters ki how you are performing in the pressure, right? So from starting onwards, if you are practicing with a timer part, right, it will help you to get synced, your mind gets synced with the particular timer thing, right? Fine. So this we're gonna do for profit loss or quant topic. Similarly, we have for algebra as well. For example, suppose we did quadratic equations. After that, I'll provide you 7 to 8 HTML, which will be having 10 questions. Like in each HTML, that will be around 70 to 80 questions. And yes, we won't be solving any basic question. Every question will be moderate or tougher. Like let's suppose one में हमने कुछ moderate डाल दिया, but from two onwards, all the question will be tough one, right? मतलब either it will be a cat or more than cat, right? Fine. After 2 months, once we are done with all the topics of arithmetic and algebra, we will move to sectionals. We'll start sectional. Sectional for cons would be like this for this particular period. 22 questions, 40-minute timer, right? Plus by sidewise, we'll be doing the other chapter, what is left. That is geometry plus number system plus modern math, right? Now, in this particular section, which we will be just including arithmetic and algebra. What I mean by saying that all 22 questions will be from arithmetic and algebra, right? Now, once we are done with geometry, we're gonna, include geometry question as well. Modern maths, we're gonna include modern math as well, right? We're gonna take around 3.5 months to complete full syllabus. But after 2 months onwards, from 2 months onwards, we're gonna start the sectional, right? Now, what's gonna happen in sectional? You'll be having 40 minutes and 22 questions, right? Again, you need to solve it and come to the class. In class, we'll be doing two things. First thing, we're going to solve all the 22 questions, in which you're going to seek if any question can be done in shorter way, right? Second thing, we're going to discuss it out, which question you would have attempted and which question you would have skipped. Which question you would have attempted and which question you would have skipped. Basically selection of question, right? That we're going to learn, right? Fine. So this would be our sectional part. Yes, once we are done with the syllabus, we're gonna start revision, but we'll be revising only the tougher chapter. What I mean by saying that, we're gonna revise, like profit loss, we're gonna revise mixture allocation, but we won't be revising, percentage or number system. We won't be revising that. We'll be revising geometry, algebra also, the tough topic, like which is a little bit difficult for you. Then second thing, same goes for arithmetic as well. Revision. Again, the lecture will be a little bit short compared to the previous on the concept class, right? Practice, we're gonna again practice the HTML. This time the HTML question would be different from what we have solved before. Okay. What I mean by saying that, let's suppose this time you solved this 10 question, right? So next time when you're gonna get HTML, this particular HTML will be having different question, right? There are two advantages of this HTML. I just explained. One thing, you can reattempt it as many times as you can, right? For example, let's suppose now you attempted and you take, like let's suppose BC and all, and you, like submitted it, right? Now again, when you're gonna restart, now it will restart from zero. What is the advantage of that? In sectional, it will help us to, understand our selection part, right? What I mean by saying that, let's suppose you first attempted in 40 minutes and you did around 10 questions, right? Fine. Next time when you are attempted, you attempted the remaining question what was left, right? So this time you'll be able to compare yourself up, like your selection was perfect or not, right? Similarly, when you have to revise, for example, let's suppose, quadratic you did now and you have to revise quadratic. So what you can do, you can again solve this particular HTML in the same timer part just to get used to it, right? Like for a revision purpose, right? So this will be the for quants part, right? This will be what we'll be doing in the quants. Other than that, discussion, one more thing I just wanted to tell you. Let's suppose I had to improve your speed, right? For example, let's suppose you are someone, who is able to solve 10 questions in 40 minutes, and we need to jump to 14 to 15, right? So what we're gonna do now, so the section what we are providing to you, right? What we're gonna do, we're gonna reduce the timer in that. Instead of 40 minutes, we're gonna move to 30 minutes. And we'll tell you, by up 30 minutes, we now try to solve all the questions what we have given to you, like that, right? Fine, okay. So this will help you to improve. There's a lot of things, which will be included in one-to-one mentorship, right? For that, I'll talk at end. What does it mean by one-to-one mentorship, right? But this is what we want to do for the quants part, right? Now coming back to DLR part. In DLR, in starting 2 months, what we're gonna do now, like we're gonna provide you this type of HTML, which will be having two sets with 35 minutes timer. 35 minutes, 37 minutes timer, 36 minute timer. We will be having two sets, right? Again, what you need to do first, attempt it, come to the class. In class, we'll be solving all the DLR set, both the DLR set, right? But you need to attempt it, right? Fine. So for this, what we have targeted, every week we'll be doing 10 sets, all tough. All tough, all in timer. Fine. 10 sets a week. Right. For 2 months, we'll be solving this thing out. We will be doing 10 sets a week. Right. And after 2 months, we want to start with sectional. Sectional same. 40 minute ka timer. 5 sets. In class, we're gonna solve it out, like all the 5 sets, we're gonna discuss it out with selection as well, which set you would have done, which set you would have skipped, right? After 2 months, still CAT. We'll be just doing sectional for DLR and mocks for DLR. It will be fully focused on that, right? Again, repeating the same thing out, right? In DLR, we won't be solving any easy sets. Every set will be a tough, like it will be a little bit more tougher. When I say tougher means either you would not have seen that type of set, or it would be generating a lot of cases in that, right? Fine. So this is about the section. Obviously, we'll be solving all the sets in, like while in the class. But the point is, you need to attempt before coming to the class. Fine. Same goes for VRC as well. Like VRC for the starting 2 months, we're gonna practice in this particular manner. 5 HTML, 2 RCs, and for 2 VA questions in every HTML. 20 minute ka timer in that, right? After 2 months, we're gonna start with sectional. Now in VRC also we wanna do the same thing. You need to attempt, come to the class. In class we'll be discussing it out. Every question, your doubts and all. We'll be solving all the queries. We'll be solving each and every RCs in that. In sectional, we're gonna even talk about the your time of attempting, like which question, which RC would have attempted before, which RC would have attempted later on, right? Now, after I would say 3 months, like 3 months when we will be sure कि भाई now you are used to the sections and all, we're gonna start with mocks, right? We're gonna provide you mocks, but we advise कि आप कोई एक और mock purchase कर लेना, either CL, IMS, whatever you prefer, crack anything you can purchase, right? Fine. And one mock we're gonna provide, right? Now, in our mock, what we're gonna do, like obviously we'll be having, let's suppose three 45 minute timer का आपके पास पूरा एक particular mock है, ठीक है? VRC, DLR and cons, right? So what we're gonna do, first you need to attempt all the mocks, right? For example, you attempted the mock in class. What we're gonna do, we're gonna do two things. एक तो अपन कोई भी सेक्शन को लाइव सॉल्व कर देंगे. लाइव सॉल्व मतलब विद द टाइमर विल सॉल्व इट आउट, राइट? सो दैट यू विल गेट आइडिया कि हाउ वी नीड टू अटेम्प्ट द पर्टिकुलर मॉक, प्लस यू विल गेट अ रफ आइडिया. प्लस अगर इफ वी गेट टू नो लाइक सपोज सीएल का कोई मॉक है जो टफ है, या फिर क्रैको का कोई मॉक है जो टफ है, तो वी गोना अटेम्प्ट दैट एज वेल इन लाइव, जस्ट टू मेक श्योर कि यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि इफ दिस टाइप ऑफ पेपर कम्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, हाउ यू नीड टू टैकल इट, राइट? फाइन. Other than that, what we gonna do? Let's suppose there is a mock 4, right? Which is having 3 sections: VRC, DILR, and cons, right? Fine. So again, the same thing, like let's suppose you attempted VRC, we'll be discussing all the VRC questions in the class. We'll be discussing all the DLR questions in the class. We'll be discussing all the cons questions in the class, right? When I say discussion means, obviously I'll be solving all the questions of this. Through that, you'll be able to understand whether your question solving procedure or selection of questions was correct or not, right? So this time we're gonna discuss the mock out, right? Mock will be having an advantage. Usually what happens with the people, let's suppose you attempted a mock, okay? Repeaters would be able to find it much better, right? Let's suppose there is a DLR section in that particular mock, and during that mock you just did 2 sets, or let's suppose you just ended up solving 1 set, right? Fine. Fine. So what you gonna do? What you do in the analysis part? What you do? कि आप बाकी sets solve करते हो, ठीक है? But the point is here कि like you are not solving in the timer. Here what you can do? You can attempt the mock again. You can re-attempt the mock again, right? So in re-attempting, what you can do? जो sets आपके रह गए, ठीक है? The sets what was left, right? Fine. So you can re-attempt it again, right? So you will be able to figure it out कि भाई जो आपने अपना selection किया है question solving का, वो correct था कि नहीं, right? This is our pattern of like teaching you up, right? Mocks and sectional though we'll be doing till CAT. Your classes will be till CAT. That would be like last week of November. Now coming to one-to-one mentorship. See, first of all, we will just enrolling 30 students, because, and obviously we'll be excluding those who are weak or who are looking for the basic classes, because the heat would be more, right? Because when we are talking about everything, we are solving the timer, we are not solving easy sets, we are not solving easy questions and all, right? So this can only be done by the people who have already done with the concept, those who are strong in concept. Because see, for us, it's like we are targeting for the 99 percentile, and we are thinking in this particular manner. From starting onwards, if we practice in this particular pattern, so 99 is quite achievable, right? Now coming to one-to-one mentorship, we'll be just taking 30 students in this batch, not more than that, right? Now coming to the one-to-one mentorship, that includes mock analysis. I'll explain this, strategy discussion, and doubt solving. And planning, like doubt solving and planning, I just tell you accountability, I would say, right? Mock analysis, when I say what does it mean, for example, I just told you, like we'll be just having 30 students, and one batch is having 30 students, right? Total around 60-70 students we enroll, right? Fine, in total. So in that, predicting a percentile would not be a good thing, right? So what we advise कि भाई आप एक कोई और mock purchase को, let's suppose you purchase CL, you purchase crack, right? Fine, you wrote that mock. So what we're gonna do from our end, we're gonna go through your mock, we're gonna understand what problem you are facing. Let's suppose we are being in touch with you, we know your potential, right? You can score this XYZ score in this particular mock, but we are not getting that particular score, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through your mock, we'll understand what problem you are facing, or what are the issues what you have. So we're gonna discuss it out one-to-one with you. We're gonna like write it down कि भाई ये चीजें हैं, this thing need to be done so that this particular thing can improve. For example, just now I explained for the speed part, right? Like the concept, but you are not able to solve more question in timer, right? So for that, what we can do this particular way कि जो sectional हम बाकियों को provide कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? आपके लिए हम individually sectional में जो timer है वो हम reduce कर दें. We can reduce it to 30 minutes or even less than that, right? Same goes for DLR as well. कि आपके DLR में selection perfect नहीं है. What we can do like before attempting the paper, while attempting the paper, you should discuss it out कि भाई I am doing this particular section. Plus when we'll be solving the same section in the class now, just understand this point of view कि आपने कोई section attempt करा कौन सा, and same section we are solving in the class. Fine. When we'll be solving, we're gonna make sure कि we are solving all the 22 questions, but we're gonna discuss it out कि which question you would have done first. ठीक है, मतलब लाइक लेट्स सपोज क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 पहले करना था, क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 पहले करना था, क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 पहले करना था, राइट? तो विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपका सिलेक्शन यहाँ पे परफेक्ट था कि नहीं था। इफ दिस इज नॉट हैपनिंग, राइट, फॉर एग्जांपल, राइट, तो वी नीड टू कंसिडर आउट कि हाउ इट कैन बी डन बेटर। ठीक है, फाइन, दिस इज ऑल अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग, राइट? नाउ स्ट्रैटेजी डिस्कशन, सी स्ट्रैटेजी व्हेन आई से मतलब like individual strategy is required for everyone. Like for example, a common strategy I cannot tell, like suppose there is a person, like he's not good in VRC part, right? Fine. So the strategy what I'll be discussing with him, right, the same strategy would not be applicable to other guy who's good in VRC, right? So individual strategy would be required. Third one is like doubt solving and accountability. In that what usually happen ki most of the people doesn't prefer coming live to the class. Okay, they usually like do the sums from their own, or like they asked out in the WhatsApp, and also that would be available 24 into 7. You can connect with us anytime, right? Other than that, accountability means like checking it out whether you are doing the stuff or not, whatever we have given you, the we are doing the task or not, right? You are attempting the mocks or not, right? So we'll be doing that as well, and this is quite possible in 30 students, right? This is quite possible, right? Fine. This is all about this thing, right? So again, if you need to if you have any queries, so you can connect us on this number. You can call us on this number 920-540-8749. This is our marketing team, right? You can call on this number particular. Classes will start from 7th of April. Classes timing would be 10 p.m. onwards, right? We'll be having daily 2 classes, not so much long, because we think if you are working professional, making you set for 2 to 3 hours doesn't make any sense, right? Fine. And last but not the least is a total fee course that would be 15K for the full course. That includes your sectional, one-to-one mentorship, all the 3 section, like concept classes, plus discussion, and all everything in that. Right? Everything will be included in this particular fees. Fine. Other than that, just the last thing, if you're a repeater or if you're someone who have done with the concepts, you want to do a lot of practice, then you can join this particular batch. But if you're looking for very basics class, right? So then you can skip it out, right? Because we'll be moving a little bit faster. Whatever I have told, we're gonna move with the same pattern what we have done, because last year we did not had any this HTML part. This year only we have introduced this thing, HTML things and all, right? Fine. And plus obviously this will be very helpful. Plus if you want to check out the sample, you can even text us again at 920-540-8749. We can send you some samples of this particular thing. Even if you want to see some demo classes, you can then also connect with us, right? So we're gonna start with the batch on 7th April. We have some seats already filled up, I guess 10 to 11. More 20 seats are remaining. So I would say if in case you want to enroll in our course, so you can do that. Fine. This is all for this. Any queries, you can directly connect us on WhatsApp or even on call as well. Thank you.